I've have this habit now where when it started with COVID, it may have started before COVID. Well, that's when we really started doing a bunch of Zoom meetings where
just scroll around.
My attention span in the meeting, I could focus for like 15 minutes.
I'm telling you, man, it is tough. It's changing our brains.
And then I just open up Twitter or Instagram or Art Station.
Reels.
And I just scroll through while
I watch disc golf tournaments while we're talking. That's what I like.
The reels have melted our brains.
We are not letting my son watch the shorts anymore.
Because otherwise they zone out all day.
Well, and it's making him quick. Like all of a sudden we noticed his ability to watch a movie, like even a movie that is
gone,
a good movie is gone. Like he's like after 20 or 30 minutes, he's just like, okay, well, get going with this thing.
Isn't that crazy?
That clip was like 2 minutes long. Why don't they cut?
So all you got to do is watch. Remember how good the first Aliens was? Put it on, and Ridley Scott, you will not believe how long those scenes are.
Oh, I know.
Slow paced it is.
Oh, you watch The Shining or any old movie like that.
No kid could watch those
on
today.
Somebody.
Yeah.
The camera's not moving at all. There's
and we just ate it up. We just ate it up.
True. I was
not
sick.
a big deal back then.
I was sick in bed last month, and in a rare move, I actually watched 4 movies. It was a quadruple feature back to back. I'm just like, I can't do anything else. Let's turn on another movie. And I watched all like classic movies. So it was anything before like 1965, right?
Oh, wow.
And there's some, like I was watching a Hitchcock film and I was like, okay, we could have cut like 1 minute earlier. Like that scene just kept going. But there is something nice, like that slower pace. There's something nice about it.
They didn't have to compete for our watching minutes.
No.
So they're like, you paid your money, you came to the movie.
Right. We got you. And we don't even care if you stay.
Right.
I agree with Will. I do think it is changing people's brains. I mean, like my son, when he's not watching shorts, he's watching some of those recorded people playing games. He's watching other people play games. And then, so that screen is small on the TV screen. And then there's another guy commenting on that guy's gameplay.
Yeah.
And everyone's yelling for some reason at the whole time. Oh my God, I can't believe he did that. And then the game is walking through the game and like, it's bizarre.
No, there's a meme now where it's like, oh yeah, if you want to keep a Gen Z's attention, and it's like the there's like a running game where they're like getting coins or whatever while they're running, while there's a little shorter video all on the same screen of like somebody cutting Play-Doh, like the the sensory stuff.
Satisfaction.
And then there's and then there's like the content that they want you got to watch all of them at the same time. It's so dumb.
That's good.
By the way,
I think it does rewire your brain. Like
I agree.
That's really smart to get them off the shorts, have them wear pants.
That's right.
Have you guys seen that guy that's doing Grand Theft Auto in real life? Oh my gosh. You got to see it. So you know how the camera is like, I'm not going to look for it right now, but the camera is behind the characters. So the characters, walking along
in front of the camera,
and you're behind him up above. So somehow they got a guy with like a gimbal camera to walk and follow this guy who is dressed like a guy in Grand Theft Auto. He's got the white beater on,
like him.
And he's walked like him, and then he jumps and does everything like he does in Grand Theft Auto. And then when he turns to go down the subway, it's like right turn, but he hits into the railing, and he's like, and he jumps because he hits into the railing. He's like. And then he turns, and then he bumps into someone, and it's the exaggerated. Oh, it's hilarious.
Funny. That is funny.
All right, let's get going on this sucker.
Let's do it. Hello, everybody. Welcome to 3 Point Perspective, the podcast about illustration, how to do it, how to make a living at it, and how to make an impact in the world with your art. I'm Jake Parker.
I'm Lee White.
And I'm Will Terry, and all three of us are professional illustrators. We've all worked for all the major publishers in the business. Together, we've published somewhere around 75 children's books, and we've all taught illustration at university art programs.
That is correct. Each week we come at you guys with fantastic interviews or listener questions. Sometimes we agree, sometimes we argue, but each time you learn something brand spanking new.
Brand spanking new. And today, this is a 3-point perspective hotline episode. These are questions, burning questions coming from our patrons. And we're going to dig right into them. Okay. First question comes from Louisa. And she says,
her
hi,
name.
guys.
Can you say her whole name?
Louisa Lafitte.
That's such a cool name.
How you say it. That is a cool name. So she sends a link to her website, and she says she's working advertising has been weak the last few months. So I'm working on my portfolio to make it more attractive. Ironically, I've been doing that too. I'm working on my portfolio and updating it. Yeah, she is. She says, I usually have so many terrible ideas before I have one. So I was wondering how many bad ideas you have before you have something really good to show. Do you guys still work on your portfolio pieces? So I'm going to just share screen and what do you guys think?
Solid.
How many bad pieces do you go through before you have something you can share?
I wonder if she's talking about good ideas. So her work is amazing.
Yeah. Well, I don't think English is her first language, so my interpretation of that is it's not necessarily like how many bad ideas, but it's like how many iterations in a piece before it's presentable, right? Before you feel like you have a portfolio piece. Man, she's got such a dialed in style. This is really good.
You know, when you get to this level, it can drive you crazy, wondering why your phone stops ringing as much, or not the phone, I guess the email.
I bet her phone is ringing. I mean, she doesn't seem like somebody.
Well, she's saying that, it's slowed down, right? Isn't that what she said?
She said work in advertising, but I think all that means is that she hasn't developed. I mean, we've talked about it on the show before, where you got to have probably 4 or 5 revenue streams going at the same time. Maybe she's just had this kind of one opportunity, like a bunch of advertising work over time. And if that dries up, she's kind of sitting there going, okay, what do I do next? But whatever this person wants to do, she will be very successful. It is a little commercially oriented right now. And so I think she does need probably a separate portfolio for whatever that next income stream is. But anyway, we're getting off onto a different topic. I mean, she's so good. She's going to be successful, but how many bad ideas do we have before we get to a good one? A lot. I mean, I find I was in the stages of writing this book that I'm writing right now, and you should see how many premises I came up with for different children's books before I settled on this one. And I kept going back and forth, and I'd reorder them. And it was like a 6-week process where I thought one was good, and then I'd come back to it and be like, oh, that's not very good. And then it would go to the bottom of the list. And then I'd be like, wait, that was pretty good. And it comes back up, and it was just a mess. I mean, so it always feels like a mess. Only in retrospect, when you're hearing an interview with somebody, do things seem inevitable and clear.
Yeah. Go ahead, Will.
Well, you're talking about Lee, you're talking about like going through all these ideas, right? And that's a really good way to do it. One thing that I have been doing in the last couple of years is I go through this process in my mind of like, what am I missing? What else could I be working on? What project am I missing out on that I'll wish I started a year ago in a year, And for a couple of years, I would go through that in my mind. I would like, and I don't know if it's because it's easier, but I would go through it, get excited about it, and then I'd break it in my mind and not do it and move on to the next thing. I didn't even have to write it down because I would always find a problem with it. And that's how a lot of things have been in just trying to figure out my next moves. For her, I mean, like the style is dialed in. She's done a lot of advertising work. And what you're saying, it sounds like, Lee, is that maybe she branch out into another market, which would require another portfolio.
I mean, sort of like if she reached out to and wanted to do book covers, she could almost use any piece in here and probably get work pretty quick. And she could also expand to a different market. I mean, that would be my next question is, why'd the work dry up? I mean, she's really good. So what's her marketing plan? It's not necessarily change the work or even come up with another project. It's like advertise to new people.
Mm-hmm. She's doing fabric prints. She's doing chocolate bar cover, like wrappers. She's doing, she's got her own shop, her Society 6 shop, where she's got, prints and laptop sleeves and little notebooks and all that stuff. So like she is branching out. Let's see how her social media game is. She's doing the posts. She's man, she is so dialed in. It's heartbreaking that she only has 2,000 followers, right?
She is my new hero, man. She's amazing.
So it's like everyone should know about her. What is her?
Well, maybe they will.
Lafitte.
Let's tell everybody to go to her Instagram and follow this person. So let's build her up.
I think it's in the show notes, but it's Louisa Lafitte.
If she hasn't already, it's time for her to start making the thing that she really wants to make and sell.
And here's the thing. She could have a killer Etsy shop, right? Right now she's offloading it all to Society 6 and they take a huge cut.
They take everything.
Right? And at the end of the day, you get, a $50 check for selling 100 prints or something like that. That's an exaggeration, but it's still, it's rough. If you're more entrepreneurial, you can run an Etsy shop and you keep, the lion's share of the profit or you have your own online shop, but then you're also shipping out orders and you're printing stuff, and a good chunk of your day is going to that stuff and less to creating art. But sometimes people enjoy that and they get a thrill out of it, and sometimes your shop can start making so much money that you can afford an assistant who comes in once a week and checks the orders, packs them all up and ships them out. So all you have to worry about is, making sure you have enough prints ready for them to go. You have enough, you're like, you've got your supply chain all figured out. So I think that's an opportunity there, because it can be a kind of a revenue stream that you don't have to actively be working on so much. It just takes like maybe a 6 month or a year of you really fine tuning it and working on it and getting it into place. But then you can sort of let it go. So there's that. I think Lee's right. Do the book covers, be great for that. I don't know if she has an agent.
Does she have a rep? Yeah, I don't see a rep listed anywhere. Man, this person's really cool. She's got a part on her website where she actually says she wants to help organizations in need. I'm thinking like, a dog pound or the Humane Society or something like that. And she'll do free work if she likes the cause.
Look at this about page.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Like, I'm expecting a photograph and a short paragraph and a link to her, Instagram account. But she has illustrated her about page. And it's all about, she lives in Brazil and it's what she's interested in and the languages that she speaks. And it's
illustrated all the way. It's like a scrolling down.
Jaw dropping. I keep scrolling down. Oh,
by the way, if you guys want to see what we're looking at while we're looking at it, we're on YouTube at the School of Visual Storytelling channel.
Yeah, I know there's somebody like listening to this in their car right now and they're pulling over so they can read it. Okay. Yeah. So maybe we interview her. Might be fun to have her on and interview her, talk to her in person.
Yeah.
All right. So I don't know if we sufficiently answered that question.
Yeah, we're just fawning over her work the whole time.
Yeah.
She just needs to get either a better agent or her work in front of more eyes, because there's no problem with the work there.
And lastly, I'll say this: every career has ups and downs, and you have a certain people that you've worked with, and they know what you do, and you do great work. But then the market needs something a little bit different. They want to, they've got their list of people that they worked with, and they've got to move on to other people. And so there's always this fluctuation. You got highs and lows, and so the trick of the game is to find what can support you during the lows and save a little bit when it's the highs, so that the lows aren't so bad as well. And that's kind of how you do an art career, right?
That's right.
Okay. Next question. Hi guys, I want to thank you very much for offering so much support for illustrators. I learned a lot from your courses, your videos, and the podcasts, and still do. 1,000 thanks for that. I've illustrated a few children's books so far, and will be publishing my first author illustrated picture book in July. That is a huge win for you. Congratulations. Other books are already under contract. I want Anka's career right now. My question is, what steps can you recommend for marketing my books? Okay,